Welcome back. Coming into last season, the Blue Jays had the longest playoff drought in North American professional sports. But thanks to the bringer of rain, Toronto's thirst for a postseason berth was finally quenched. Justin Lacey fills us in now on the off-season of number 20 and his odds of repeating as the AL's number 1.
And now it's Donaldson, second and third, 2 out. Here comes a 2-1. Left side. Moustakas. Royals win the pennant.
Despite taking home a Silver Slugger and American League MVP, it was a long offseason for Josh Donaldson. He took the time to get some perspective on a playoff run that didn't end the way that he wanted it to.
At the end of the day, Kansas City had a great team, and we felt that we were we felt like we were able to compete with them and win the series, but they won it. So I mean, at the end of the day, you can't really take anything away from them because I mean they're the world champs.
With a new season about to begin, expectations are sky high, and Donaldson knows it's his job to bring the team together again to make a push for the Fall Classic.
You know, this year is try to get the troops on board early on what the objectives are and you know what our main goals are, and you know I'm looking forward to having another good year.
Blue Jays' new president and CEO Mark Shapiro knows he has one of the league's biggest stars on his club and couldn't be more thrilled about getting to watch what Donaldson brings to the park day in and day out.
That's one of the things that you most look forward to, a guy that has not just the talent, but the drive, the intensity, the fuel to win. A guy that makes other players better by just the way he brings, you know, that level of competitiveness every single day, that relentless approach. There are not many players that have the combination of both talent, skills, and relentlessness that he's got. So I'm excited to watch that from the same dugout rather than across the field, I guess.
There's no denying Josh Donaldson had one of the best seasons in Jays history. From collecting the most All-Star votes the MLB has ever seen to the hardware sitting in his trophy case. But this year, the people of Toronto are hoping that the bringer of rain will become the bringer of rings, and they'll have a third World Series trophy on display here at the Rogers Centre. From Toronto, Justin Lacey.
October 15th was a day unlike any other at the Rogers Centre. That's when Jose Bautista hit his iconic 7th inning go-ahead 3-run shot, followed by the bat flip that echoed from St. John's to Vancouver. Now the Jays open 2016 with AL East title expectations, but plenty of contract negotiations. And in the middle of it, Joey Bats. We're now pleased to be joined by CSM's Cam Durrett. Cam, how do you see Bautista fitting into the club's long-term plans?
Well, hopefully for Bautista, he fits into these plans until retirement. But before anybody gets too far ahead of themselves, whether it's ownership, fans, or Bautista himself, everyone needs to take a collective breath and remember that this season is about to start and it matters the most. The Jays have a real shot at capturing the AL East title again, not to mention World Series aspirations. Now, if we do look further down the line for Jose Bautista's contract, we have to remember that he loves playing in Toronto. He played for 4 teams in 5 years before joining the Jays, where he's been an all-star the last 6 seasons. So if both sides can come to some sort of agreement, it'll be mutually beneficial for both.
Cam, home run hitters typically lose power as they age, and Bautista turns 36 this year. Should the club have concerns about his health going forward?
Well, it's a big concern for Toronto, and it's a big concern for Toronto fans, but it isn't a concern at all for Jose Bautista. This is a player who's notorious around the MLB for his workout ethic. He hasn't been on the disabled list once since 2013, and in 4 of his last 6 seasons, he's played in at least 149 games. So it's all systems go for Jose Bautista. Now fans are worried about the power, whether he can still hit home runs, but keep this number in mind. He hit 40 jacks last season, which is the most he's hit since 2011.
Production and age aside, should the fans of Toronto feel like the club owes something to their all-star slugger?
Absolutely. This is a city that had such a magical feeling during that postseason run, and at the heart of it all was Jose Bautista. He had arguably 2 of the biggest home runs in franchise history, both at incredibly opportune times. And when he's not flipping his bat or flipping out, he plays with an emotion that this city hasn't seen from any of their sports stars in decades. And as long as Joey Bats gets to continue to eat for free ever since those home runs, it's safe to say that he belongs in Toronto.
Thanks very much, Cam.
Putting together a contending team has always been a challenge. And in this day and age of professional sports, keeping that team together is an even bigger one. Our contract wizards break down for us now who the Blue Jays should extend, wait out, or possibly trade.
Thanks, Rod. I'm Sean Millette, joined by John Allen, Michael Blundell, and Scott Bellafiore. And we're talking contracts today, and of course, the Jays face a unique situation, and it starts with Edwin Encarnacion. He voiced that he would like a contract done by opening day, and although spring training has been hampered by injuries, he's voiced his displeasure in the situation, saying that he doesn't see himself as a part of the Jays' future. But John, should he be?
I think you should, Sean. Listen, Edwin Encarnacion is one of the best hitters in the MLB. Not to mention that over the past 4 years, he's averaged 38 home runs. He's hit .274 over the last 3 seasons. Of course, his on-base percentage and his slugging percentage have both gone up. He's not regressing. In fact, he's getting better, so I do think he warrants an extension.
Yeah, John, despite that offensive production, though, he's still a defensive liability, and what we're seeing with Justin Smoke and Chris Colabello when they play first base is defensive reliability, and they've also brought in a little bit of an offensive upswing. So for them, I think this is an opportunity for the Blue Jays just to spend that money elsewhere.
You nailed it right there, Mike. Edwin is a lot more replaceable than a guy like Jose Bautista, and it's because of his long-term durability issues and his age. Right now, at 33 years old and playing designated hitter, Edwin should not be part of the Blue Jays' future.
Now, obviously, the other piece is Jose Bautista, and he hasn't necessarily set a deadline, but he does expect a big raise, and he's not going to take a hometown discount this year. Now, Jose has proven himself again and again over his career, but this year, under new management, does he have something new to prove in order to stay in Toronto?
No, not at all. He's been the focus of this Jays team since 2010, and really, with the 227 home runs, top 10 in the AL in walks the past 2 seasons, you combine that, guys, with his superior defense, that cannon of an arm in right field, he has nothing left to prove in 2016 for me.
But look, unfortunately for Jose Bautista, baseball is a what have you done for me lately kind of sport. And of course, there's a new regime, and this is a new set of eyes. They know what he's done for the last 5 years, but he's going to have to prove himself once more, and I think the spotlight's going to be on Jose Bautista this year.
Bautista's value exceeds what he brings on the field. Yes, he has those power numbers, but he's a lovable character off of it. The fans love him here in Toronto. The players love him in the clubhouse as well. So I think it would be a huge mistake for Mark Shapiro and his group not to bring him back.
Well, I think an ideal situation would be for the Jays to bring back both Edwin and Bautista. However, doing so would put the Jays in the top 5 payroll next year, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but most of that money is allocated in just 6 players, $125 million. Is that a bad thing?
Well, you wouldn't think so at first. The Jays playing in the Rogers Center offense first. They put a lot of their money in the infield, but really they didn't address the top of that rotation and the back of the bullpen. Too many depth guys and not enough frontline starters and relievers.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with the pitching. This is a big concern for this team. You could have 4 starters here with an ERA close to 4, and that's just not good enough heading into the regular season. And also, Marcus Stroman's going to have to prove himself as an ace.
When you average 5.5 runs a game, your philosophy has to be offense, and that's what the Blue Jays have done. Anthopoulos built it. Now Shapiro has to continue it.
Well, you're right. Shapiro and management definitely have a lot of tough decisions to make in the future, but you can be rest assured that come opening day, the Jays will be focused on returning to the postseason.
While Alex Anthopoulos was busy at the trade deadline preparing his team for a deep playoff run, fans in Toronto were expressing concern about how the Blue Jays would fare moving forward. Then Marcus Stroman made a comeback that solidified the Jays' rotation, while Roberto Osuna and Aaron Sanchez became 2 of the best young arms in all of baseball. And as Mark Horner tells us, this is just the beginning.
Last season saw the Blue Jays trade many of the club's high-value pitching prospects. Despite those trades, the Blue Jays at the major league level are rich in talented young arms. Marcus Stroman tore the ACL in his left knee March 10th. He then rehabbed and trained with an elite staff at Duke University, and it all paid off. Stroman returned in September and compiled a 4-0 record, a 1.67 ERA, and 18 strikeouts in 27 innings pitched. He also earned invaluable postseason experience, making 2 starts against the Rangers and 1 against the Royals. Stroman is now pitching without a brace on his repaired knee and has dominated this spring, all while showcasing his 6-pitch arsenal. Following Stroman's injury in spring training, Aaron Sanchez started 2015 as the team's 5th starter. He was placed on the disabled list in June, and when Sanchez returned, he was put in the bullpen, where he was fantastic as the 8th inning setup man for the remainder of the season. After adding 25 pounds of muscle this offseason, Sanchez appears destined for the final spot in the 2016 starting rotation, something friend Marcus Stroman knows is the right decision.
He's ready, and I'm excited for y'all to see him in spring because we've made some huge gains, and he's in a good position.
Roberto Osuna was not expected to be a part of the 2015 Blue Jays squad, but an outstanding spring training earned him a roster spot. Osuna emerged as one of the most reliable bullpen arms on the team, eventually taking over the closer's role for the majority of the season. He finished the year with 20 saves, a 2.58 ERA, and 75 strikeouts in 69 2/3 innings pitched. During the division series against the Rangers, Osuna recorded a 5-out save in the 5th and final game, and in doing so became the youngest pitcher in American League history to record a save in the postseason. After a promising 2015, expectations are much higher for these three this year. Marcus Stroman is counted upon as the ace of this staff and will go head-to-head against the team's better pitcher more often. If Aaron Sanchez is in the starting rotation, his difference in velocity for more off-speed focused members such as Estrada and Dickey will be key. And Roberto Osuna is in the closer role or the 8th inning setup man role this year in a bullpen that will go a long way in determining the success of this team. From Toronto, Mark Horner.
Stick around. We'll arm you with what you need to know about the Jays' pitching situation this season and who will be the face of the franchise moving forward. We've got more taking flight on the other side.